What is going on, everyone? You are watching another episode of the Imperial Senate Podcast's The Bad Betches. I am one of your hosts, Claire Stribling, and joining me, of course, is Nicky Kumar.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Clone Force 69 in action. Bad Betches.
Moist Squad.
Yep. How's it going, Claire?
Oh, it's going. It's definitely going. Sorry for the technical difficulties, a few delays, but we are here. We are live. We have made it. And Charlie's not with us at the moment. Hopefully he'll be able to join us a little bit later, but we'll see. We'll see if he's able to join us.
Yeah.
But yeah, how are you doing, Nicky?
Yeah, not so bad. Just wrapping up my time here in the Pacific Northwest. I'll be back in my normal situation by next week. So, yeah.
By next week. Mm-hmm. Nice. Heck yeah. Did you enjoy your time in the Pacific Northwest?
You know, I can't complain. It's been interesting. Portland is a weird city because it feels very chill.
Yeah.
And so that's fun. But also my allergies aren't great up here. So.
Oh, no. Since moving out here, I know how you feel because not used to all of these California weeds, and it's not great, and everything's beautiful and blooming, and there's a new tree blooming every day, and I'm like, this is terrible, I'm dying.
Yep.
But it's great, it's beautiful. But yes, so we are joined here, we have reconvened to discuss yet another fabulous episode of the Bad Batch, episode 6, Decommissioned.
Boom.
Boom. So I'm just going to ask you right off the bat, what were your initial thoughts on this episode before we really break it down piece by piece?
I ain't gonna lie, this episode slapped.
Oh, so much.
Slapped real hard. It was funny. There was great action. I thought there was dialogue that just had me laughing a lot.
Same.
Sid remains an amazing underworld character. I can't wait for more Sid every week.
Love
it was awesome. There's just no way around it. It was great seeing some familiar faces, some faces I thought we would see in the end of Clone Wars, post sort of the battle. I always figured Ahsoka would go back. We'll get more into them in a bit, but obviously they're still popping. So yeah, it was awesome. Great episode.
Yeah, this is I think this is my favorite episode other than the premiere. These two, just fabulous storytelling. There's something that's so satisfying about having the Martez sisters come back because of the internet backlash. The vindictive part of me is just good, bring them back. And they did it. I knew it. I knew that they were going to utilize them again in a way that would be hey, remember how y'all were kind of annoyed on Twitter about them? You shouldn't have been because they're important. Mm-hmm. So I was really, really excited to see them back. The action was great. There were some of the funniest moments on Clone Wars or Bad Batch that I'd seen in a while. That Echo joke will never get old.
Yep.
Just so many great moments. And I really like this episode as well.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any comments, any questions, any things you want to share, be sure to pop them into the comments section. And anything you want us to talk about as well, other than our topics that we have picked out, feel free to do that. It'll be pretty cool, And we do want to hear from you guys and know exactly what you thought about this episode as well.
Absolutely.
All right. So that being said, let's get into this episode beat by beat. Let me see if I know how to work StreamYard, apparently. Here we go. So,
bam.
Boom. We're starting off on Ord Mantell in Sid's fine, seedy establishment. Mm-hmm. And Echo giving Omega some archery lessons. I thought it was really, really sweet. I like that this episode seemed to feature Echo a little bit more than maybe other episodes. It's nice to watch him tutor Omega, just like Rex tutoring Ahsoka. It's just, we're coming full circle. So sweet. we finally saw Omega not be so good at something,
Yeah,
which is
because
brand
especially
new.
when she hit that shot in the premiere when Crosshair was about to
Right.
fire. So yeah, she's still working out the kinks on the the light bow. But yeah, this part was automatically just great fun. Like I think, and even just that opening shot of Ward Mantell, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, nice, still beautiful. So
So
that was
beautiful.
great. And then yeah, then the comedy around her hitting the shots, the dude or the like Ithorian in the weak way, like placing bets, and just
Oh
this
my
like
god.
yeah, just this hilarious vibe of this bar, which is like, of course, extra funny based on Sid being voiced by Rhea Perlman. So it's like
Right.
Cheers jokes, very meta, like at this Cheers bar vibe in Star Wars. So yeah, it was just great, and yeah, I loved the. I already got threes. Like yeah, 3 out of 12.
3 out of 12, kid. Like, that's
And
not
then
so good.
are there any other math nerds who are like, Echo, simplify that fraction, my man? You gotta bring that
Oh.
down. But anyway, that was funny. Yeah, it was just a great way to intro the episode, and I felt bad for that person who tried to walk in and immediately got shot at.
I know. Oh my god. You really got to watch where you're going on Ord
Yeah,
Mantell. It is
yeah,
truly a seedy place to
indeed.
be.
The underworld has no rules.
No. And also, did you notice that like the sound effect they used for the Weequay laugh was very Kawaki and Monkey Lizard? If you didn't, I sure did. You better believe I did.
Yeah, I would hope so for you. We got to stay on brand.
We have to stay on
Yeah.
brand. Man, I'm still hoping we go see Jabba though, because if we do, you know who might be there?
What
We already got
up?
Bib.
What up, Chief? Yeah, that was fun getting the bib. What's it called? Bib, I
Oh,
guess
the cameo.
model. Yeah, and just
Mhm.
like the model in general, because like we've seen or like we talked before, they make a model for something. They're not usually for one-offs, right? Like
Right.
that's a lot of work to put into one thing. So yeah, you never know. So I that'd be so awesome if Jabba and then the big S what's his middle name?
SB.
SB
It's just
SBC. There we go. The big
big ol'
SBC
SBC.
comes in. Yeah, be classic. A classic
So
moment.
classic. But yeah, also like I love Sid. I love
Mhm.
Sid so much. Every time she shows up, I'm just like, oh, come on. But when she says that Omega has noodle arms, and then immediately just owns her by taking
Pew,
like
pew. Yeah.
bunch of like bullseye shots in the middle. Just absolute funny, delightful Star Wars. Which makes me like, but I'm thinking like, what do we still think? What do we think about Omega's special ability? Is it just the empathy still? Is it just because she's not? I know a lot of people have theorized about her just being like a quick learner, like able to adapt quick, but this is not so much the case this time.
Hmm.
I'm curious.
Yeah, it's like because we haven't really seen her since the premiere do that sort of special tap in. Like
Right.
whatever it is, she can tap into something. Like whether it's just someone's emotions or the force. So like we haven't really seen her do that for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard to say. Maybe now that's still sort of on the back burner. And maybe they're not trying to reveal that too much. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that, or like obviously it's gonna come back what her purpose was, but
Right.
yeah, it doesn't seem to be combat at the moment.
Mm-mm. Poor baby.
I also really love a lot of Sid's dialogue with the clones. Like there was some in
Yes.
episode 5 as well. Just and I love because I wasn't here for episode 5. Let me just shout out the moment when Sid's like, "Oh, she's the brains of the whole thing," and then Wrecker like holds his hand out and she like high fives him. Like that was so good. I love this group with Sid, and Sid being like, "Hey, this is my briefing, goggles. Like, shut up." I thought that was so funny. She's such a great character for them to bounce off of because they're very like, and even this is the Bad Batch, so like we see them in a context of they go off the rules from the rest of the clones, but now they look like the straight characters. Like they're like the ones trying to like bounce off of this world that has no order to it. And they're like, even at Hunter at the end, he's like, I kind of miss order. And like,
Right.
they're like the team with no order. So it's kind of funny how that's all like just even this is just foreign territory to them.
Exactly. It's so much fun. And I see a comment here that I want to highlight because it makes me laugh. She calls Tech goggles. Come on.
Yep.
That is hysterical. I just queen stuff. But yeah, so we got this mission from our queen, Miss Sid, and our mystery buyer, whoever it is, wants to go get the head of the tactical droid on Corellia. Corellia's cool. Back, baby. Yep. How did you feel about the reintroduction of Corellia, or the first time I think that we've seen it animated, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. That it was cool, and like I've seen some side-by-side shots of like, you know, that opening Solo shot with the title, and you sort of see like the dockyards and stuff, and they sort of they didn't do like the exact same shot, but it was very cool to see that that sort of vibe. Yeah, that vibe on in animated form. And yeah, it was just like, again, one of those things, like we've gotten some I guess the past 2 planets have been these sort of like new glimpses. Like, I mean, Ord Mantell, like I don't think we've ever gotten a like visual canonical Ord Mantell. So that was really cool. I don't know if it was in a comic or anything. It could have been, but like as far as like a sort of, you know, show medium or whatever, that was really cool. Pantora was really cool. So it was kind of fun to go back to something a little familiar, but still opening the door wider on this sort of famous planet for Star Wars.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought that it was cool. Like, it looked like when we went back to Corellia, it almost looked like we had some shots to be nearly identical for Solo. Like, we are very, very close, it seems, to where Lady Proxima's den of mischief is. I feel like we went around the exact same corner that Han goes around in the very beginning of the movie.
I wonder where the silo is.
Right? Where is the silo? I don't know.
We have to remember it.
We have to remember the silo.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so one thing about I love Corellia. I love the design of Corellia. It feels good to go back again. # make Solo 2 happen again. In animation, I guess. But yeah, I really liked they did such a beautiful job with the animation again. It's spot on. It's like 1-to-1, pretty much identical of from the Solo movies and movie singular. And yeah, I really enjoyed going back. And one thing that I was excited to see was what they're doing with the droids.
Yeah.
Like seeing a decommissioning facility, which was pretty exciting. And poor Wrecker, they keep going places where he's like afraid of heights.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, hey, I know you're afraid of heights. Let's have you swing over a lava pit. That'll definitely help with your fear of heights. That'll help you get over it real quick.
Yeah.
No, a little bit worse, right?
Yeah, that's always the Wrecker height jokes, for whatever reason, won't get old for me. Yeah, I think especially when, like, I love the ones in even the first arc in the Clone Wars, where he's just like, we have to. And yeah, it again, and it also showed, you know, this idea. They still touch every now and again on this missing family member, where he's like, oh, that was Crosshair's job to do the the lookout. And again, this continuing sort of theme of like the family not being whole, and even down to, I think it was like touching on the last episode again, getting Omega's comm link, like that needs to go, oh, finally mine. He's like, well, it was Crosshair's.
Well,
so, like,
I mean,
yeah,
sort of yours,
right? So it's interesting that that's still, even in just little throwaway lines, still a through line for this story. And
that's another thing that, like, I would say if I'm gonna nitpick at this episode, which I'm not gonna do very much because it was great. If I'm gonna nitpick, I need to see Crosshair. It's been so long that they've left that super juicy storyline to sit there, but you know, it's a long series, a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
I'm not too concerned about that either way.
I'm still
surprised.
Yeah, I'm still surprised how many episodes are in this season.
Right?
So,
Like,
but
holy
yeah,
cow.
plenty of time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So let's see here. So we went to Corellia. We're on a mission. We're doing stuff, and we run into the Martez sister.
Yeah, this was great. So great. I love seeing even before they popped up. I love seeing the batch sort of get into business, doing their thing, and then Omega's got her little binoculars, and she's like, "Okay, let's do this." And then you see the little legs behind her, and it's like, "Uh oh, what's going on?"
Oh no!
Yep. And yeah, I remember just sort of being like, "Okay, who is this?" And just it was like one of those things where it's like, was I surprised? No. Like, was I surprised it was someone interesting? No. Was I surprised it was the Martez sisters? Yes. That was a pleasant surprise.
It really, really was. And I like the first thing, like we did a reaction video for it over at the house, and the first thing that I thought was Araj! Oh my god! Because Araj, good buddy from the Sith list, loves Rafa.
Oh, Rafa's
He's in
great.
love with her. He's in love with her. He's like, she's so beautiful and she's so talented and everything she does is great. And I love her. And I knew just some deep down in my heart that he was having the most wonderful, joyous moment ever. Which I have to say, I'm glad that they decided to bring them back. And it does bring up a lot of questions though, which we'll get to later. We'll get to eventually. But okay, so we're in the droid factory. Some of the best action of the whole season in my book.
Really good.
Like, so good. I was legitimately concerned for Omega for a bit. Legitimately.
It was a great play on the droid factory from Attack of the Clones. Right?
Yes. Totally.
Yeah, just really good. Sort of like a half callback. And we love that kind of stuff in Star Wars. It's always fun. And yeah, I mean, when she's stuck on that conveyor belt and then she actually falls in, I was like, what? So yeah, it was just, there's all sorts of stuff. Hunter with a killer grappling hook move, Echo and Tech down at the little console. And then Wrecker causing concern for himself.
God. Wrecker's chip malfunctioning CTE is not okay with me right now.
Yeah.
So we finally had that moment.
Yeah, it's been coming. Was third episode when he hit his head pretty hard?
The first time.
Yeah. The third episode was his headaches, and then it's just been getting progressively worse until bam. Good soldiers. Follow orders, good baby. Soldiers. Yeah, that was terrifying. And that's the other fun thing about this episode. It flipped on the spectrum of joy and fear. So big time, because we're watching it when the Martez sisters show up, and there's this great action set piece and all these moving pieces and the amazing sound effects, and it's classic vintage action Star Wars. And then homie hits his head and it's good soldier following. We're what? No, please no. And it goes on for a while. He doesn't get up, and it takes a lot for him to get back in the action, because this hits him big time. And I thought a really sort of, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but it was when Omega asked or said, "We need you." That's when he got up, and I thought that was nice, because it's different if it's a team member versus her voice, and we already know that he has a very sort of protective, even Hunter's more fatherly, Wrecker's brotherly, I think.
Yes, and, very much.
Yeah,
so.
And so we already know he's got that sort of protectiveness for her. So I think whether it was intentional or not, I think it's a very sweet touch to have he got up when he heard her ask him to get up.
It's so sweet. And people are making me sad. Bob, I'm looking at you. He could be tending to rabbits soon.
Oh no.
No. No. You're gonna make
Yep.
me so sad. No Lenny comparisons. I can't handle that. Okay. I love
Uh-oh.
him. He's my favorite. He's my favorite Batcher. I can't. Well, I know I'm about to see it, but I'm so scared of what is coming next. But let's see another comment here from Kickstand 2011. I may be showing my age, but Wrecker's fear of heights is very similar to BA Baraka's fear of flying in the A Team from the 80s.
Yep.
Totally.
Great
Total
shout
A
out.
Team parody.
I mean,
Great shout out.
we know the batch is very inspired by that too, right? So,
Mhm.
so yeah, it's got to be, intentional. Like at least it's like definitely a reference. So yeah, very fun stuff.
Because that's so fun. It's just such a fun like allusion to stuff that like the older Star Wars fans that grew up in the 80s, unlike myself,
Yeah.
have nostalgia for, and
Mhm.
that's pretty cool. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool to me.
for sure. And while the topic is the Martez sisters, I just want to like say how kind of funnily enough, when the mask came up, it still took me
Mhm.
like a second to be like, who is that? It's like because again, like I just did not expect them like
No,
to show up. So I was like, who is that? Someone I know? And then she spoke, and I was like, oh, okay.
yo,
Um,
Queen.
yeah. So that was just really fun, and it just kind of like cool to see them in action, um, because obviously they did stuff, but during like a big chunk of those episodes, they were like in a cell.
Right.
And it was a lot of Ahsoka running around. So it was fun to see them be a little more active. Rafa with one of the like clone pistols was fun.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was again, it was just uh, a great combination of factors throughout this whole sort of middle section.
It was, and it's super super cool to see that the Martez sisters are now fighting for something more than themselves.
Hmm.
Um, because they had their own bad experiences with the Jedi, and then they meet Ahsoka in the final season of the Clone Wars. But now it seems like they're doing heists for good, for a greater good than just surviving and getting by. And I think
Hmm.
that it's really cool to see how they as characters have grown because of meeting Ahsoka and because of having that experience with Crimson Dawn.
Hmm.
Um, it was I was so happy they brought him back. And you're right, I didn't. It took me a second, like a couple, like a half a second to recognize it because I swear to God, I only look at their hair during the Clone
Yeah,
Wars episodes.
it's
That
so
is such
iconic too.
iconic hair
Yeah.
that I'm just like, oh, you're covering it up for like the whole episode. But
Hmm.
that voice is just so iconic. Like it's so distinguishable from anybody else that as soon as she started really talking, I was like, come on. Oh.
Yeah. The funny thing also is I guess what was this Friday? So Friday morning, watch this episode, and then was watching Law and Order Friday night, and this was
Mhm.
like Law and Order. This pretty early. It's like season 6, so it's like mid 90s. And Elizabeth, I think it's Elizabeth Rodriguez, the name of the Rafa actress, was in the Law and Order episode. I was like, no,
What?
I was like, no, get out of here. so, so that
Yes.
was pretty funny. I was like, this is your
It's
weekend,
your time to
Rafa.
shine.
Yep.
Your time to freaking shine. Oh my goodness. So I will say, um, I saw this, my favorite joke of the entire episode. Is
Yep.
there an echo in here? Yes, I'm Echo. You what?
So good.
Oh, so good.
So
So
well
good.
written, so well structured. Like you just can't beat a well structured joke. And there's something
Mhm.
just even very character based about it that's so sweet because Echo says that so earnestly. He's like,
I
"Yes, that's
know.
me."
Oh,
It's like, and it's just like, man, that it's amazing, and I love that. I think sort of the like childlike innocence of both Echo and Trace being sort of like the key to that joke
yes.
is just kind of funny. So yeah, no, great stuff. I was so pleased with so many of these um, sort of just straight up jokes and just funny dialogue. Again, the arm noodles, that was a great early one.
The arm
Um,
noodles. Oh, sweet
so
pea.
yeah, it was just so much great just little things, little pieces of dialogue. So yeah,
Mhm.
I think it was Amanda. Rose Munoz, I think, who wrote this episode, and I
I
don't
think
think
that's right.
she's credited with anything else. So that was a awesome debut for Star Wars.
Amazing first time dipping your toe into the Star Wars
Absolutely.
sandbox, so you will. So let's see here. Oh, another comment here from the chat on YouTube. Before we leave Rafa here, man, her skills have advanced since season 7. Rafa was shooting like a 501st member. Yeah, she was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was. I
Yep.
love seeing the love for the Martezes in the chat right now. It makes me very happy.
Hell yeah.
Very
Absolutely.
happy. And T Money says live action Trace and Rafa in the Ahsoka series.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a timeline jump for sure for them. But hell, why not?
Why not? Exactly. They seem about the same age as Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? They'd be fine. So I think this actually brings us to our next topic. The end of the episode. So once we secure the droid head from the decommissioning facility, and Tech decides to copy it, they realize, oh, hey, don't know who we're giving this to. We're just doing a job. That's just what I'm here for. But then they realize that this could be used for greater good. Trace and Rafa mention fighting the Empire using this information, that their contact wants to use this to now fight the clones because the clones are now part of the Empire. So at the end of the episode, R7 cameo. Ahsoka's beautiful boy R7 is with the Martez sisters. How did that make you feel? I
mean, it felt good because I mean we know from the end of Clone Wars they pulled the wreckage out, and he's there by the Y-wing. And then obviously it's like we know Ahsoka based on what we know from the book, based on what we sort of assume from Rebels and stuff. Like she didn't have a droid with her. So it was always this sort of like, well, why did they pull the body out to not use him, or to not only have him with her? So yeah, it was great to get the follow up on that and to have R7 be working with them. And I think it also just sort of came around, like I sort of said earlier, I always expected the end of Clone Wars to have Ahsoka go back to the sisters. But I guess that's now like just a implied history now, which is pretty great. And just it proves she did go back. She did give them R7 or something like that. Just proof that they remained a contact for her. So
yes,
I think that's really fun and just a great follow up on something from Clone Wars season 7.
Absolutely. And Bob brings up a good question in the chat. Who's that contact? So at the end of the episode, we have the hologram. We just see like a shoulder. We just see some robes, or what looks like appears to be robes. And we have no voice, nothing. The only thing we hear is that they refer to the contact as him. Who's the contact? Who do you think the contact is?
I don't think my guess is very creative, but I do think it's Rex, because it sort of just tracks with the droid. The fact that they would, Ahsoka and Rex, maybe both of them together, gave them R7 as a way to contact them. It goes with Rex knowing that they need the head of the battle droid. He's the kind of person who would know that kind of stuff. And then we know Rex is in the show. So it makes sense. It makes sense that, she tells him about the batch, and he's like, oh, I know those guys. And then they find a way to meet, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I mean, of course it could be anyone. it could be the bad guy for all we know. Like, who knows? But I do think it's Rex in this moment. I feel like it's a solid jump for it to be Rex.
Yeah. The one reason why I think that there's a pretty good chance it will be Rex. Another popular theory that I kind of buy into on the internet is that it's Bail Organa.
Mhm.
because they mentioned directly fighting the Empire. And when we meet Rex in Rebels, he's like in hiding. I feel like his mission right now is maybe not, hey, let's go for the Empire. It's just, let's save my brothers. That's the one reason I think it may not be Rex. Also, we saw him in the trailers. And if you're going to like sizzle somebody exciting and then have it be, oh, it's the guy you already knew was in the show because he was in the trailer.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of a bummer. I could see it being Bale because deliberately fighting the Empire. I could see that being the case. The problem with that is them having R7 and Bale would then know Ahsoka was alive that early, which I don't know if that necessarily fits. I know in Rebels when Ahsoka is revealed as the Fulcrum agent that you like have a bait and switch. Like somebody, I can't remember who I was talking to. I think it was maybe Aubrey. I don't remember. Somebody mentioned when they come down the stairs, it's like, oh, it's Bale. Nope, psych, it's actually Ahsoka. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good shout. I can't remember. I don't remember the novel too well, the Ahsoka novel. But I know Bale like played the big part in it, and I don't remember if that was their moment to be like, oh, we know about each other now. So yeah, it could be. I mean, and also we do know that they don't mind tweaking. Tweaking what may have been said in a book or comic. So yeah, I mean, it's just as good a shout. I think, in a lot of ways, the animated shows are so good at, walking hand in hand with the other developing projects. So we saw a lot of Rebels. There was great synergy with Rogue One, and sort of and like for obvious reasons story wise, but also they were kind of making them at the same time, so it's like easier to be walking hand in hand. And now now we can look at what we're working with now. So Bad Batch is running in line with Mando, with Book
Fennec.
of Boba Fett, and Andor. So we have all these building blocks in place. It could be Bale. It could have been just as easy to be like, hey, Jimmy, why don't you record some lines for us while you do this, while you're acting in Andor? So it's like, it makes a whole lot of sense for it to be anyone like that. And yeah, the shout for, the goal being go after the Empire is a good one for why it might not be Rex. But again, yeah, we don't know what his motive is now. He could have started trying to go after them and then be like, okay, let's back off. So yeah, it's tough, but it's part of that fun speculation of Star Wars land.
And I love the fun speculation in the chat. I'm just gonna throw out to my favorite and totally credible theories. T-Money says it's Watto.
Yes. Hey, J-Type, muy bien.
Oh my goodness. Like, oh, I need that droid head so I can be selling at the shop.
A droid head. Very good.
Oh my god.
That'd be a trip.
Clearly I need to practice my Watto impression is what I'm getting out of this. Oh, this is a really good one too. Definitely wrong theory. It's Kyle Katarn. Nope, it's definitely Kyle Katarn. Like, you've changed my mind, and you can't sway me otherwise at this point. That's what it is.
Say never, man. Never say never.
That's right.
It's a weird place, this Star Wars galaxy. You don't know who's gonna show up.
Exactly.
So yeah, you shoot your shot. Say Kyle Katarn, and then when it happens, people are gonna be like, "You are a genius."
Oh, remember back in the day when everyone's like, Palpatine's not coming back. Palpatine's not coming back. Little did we think.
Yeah.
There he is.
There you go. Anything's possible. It's all there.
Watto's unavailable due to mandatory sensitivity training. Oh, no.
If anyone needs it. I mean.
It's probably him.
Yeah. It's he didn't have a great track record as far as actions in a movie.
No, and definitely
unpunished actions in a movie. Like, let's be honest. He did not. He lost some money maybe, but he had some big crimes.
Landra, this is it. This is the answer. It's 3 Kawaki and Monkey Lizards in a poncho. That's who the contact is.
Can you imagine?
I love it so much. it's very BoJack Horseman, a very much two kids in a trench coat. I am Vincent Adult Man. Oh my
I need
god,
the canon
amazing.
names of each of them.
Yes.
We need the visual dictionary for the Bad Batch to establish who these monkey lizards are.
I need it in my life. I need it. Now my hopes have been brought up and they're going to come tumbling down. Now the bar is set too high. So actually, I take it back. How dare you, Ladra? You've ruined the actual answer of who it's going to be. But that it brings up there's all this theorizing. We now have someone on one side who we don't know who they are, and we still don't know who Fennec's contact is. And I think that's going to make for a really, really interesting battle of the two sides, with the poor Bad Batch getting caught up in the middle of it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a person, right?
Could you? Yeah.
You never know. You never know. Even if it's a good guy, a good guy could be playing all these different sides and hiring bounty hunters. So yeah, it's just, you don't know, and I think that's part of the title, the little subtitle says, it's a great mystery at the bottom of this whole sort of underlying menace of this story. So yeah, I think there's all sorts of good shouts, whether they be Bale, Rex, Kyle Katarn, three monkey lizards in a trench coat. There's all sorts of great shouts. So yeah, I'm excited to see who it is, because so far this show's not been a letdown on the surprise characters. So yeah, I think there's plenty of good, healthy speculation, and then they're gonna hit us with something pretty legit, I'm sure.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got one more theory that I missed. Well, if we're going all out, the hologram is Corky cries.
Yeah. What happened to that dude?
I know.
It's an unanswered question,
Maybe we'll find out in the Bad Batch.
Yeah, he wasn't in season 7. He wasn't. I'm pretty sure the last we saw of him was getting flipped out of that speeder. So, yeah, it's
hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, tough stuff for Corky, the secret Kenobi.
Poor Corky, the secret Kenobi bastard child. Oh, yep. Could you imagine? Actually, while we're doing that, Lux Bonteri. I'll put it out into the universe, and hopefully it comes back to me. I would love for it to be Lux Bonteri.
Lux is a good one. We know he was still kind of working with Saw,
and we saw him already. Yeah.
Yep. So we know the Guerrera cell is still going, and yeah, that could be awesome, especially if Corky's still operating as a senator.
Right.
That could be really interesting. So yeah, I mean, who knows? It's all, again, another great idea. And yeah, I'm just excited to see them reveal, because yeah, I feel like they've done, for obvious reasons, I feel like this show has been just such an amazing, they've just done the steps right.
Right.
It makes sense. It's their third big show. Of course you get better and better. That's the whole goal. And they've just done a great job at, I mean, the technical side, push that to the side. Obviously the animation, the sound design, everything is just this whole new level. But I think even the story, they've done a really good job at layering step by step. And these are the reasons why, when shit pops off, we're ready for it, because they didn't rush it. They were like, okay, here's a little bit. Here's little servings of appetizers, and they're getting us ready for some big stuff. I'm super pumped to see they finally reveal the big moves. And I think I saw, was it Kevin Kiner the other day? He's like, just wrote the finale, or just recorded the finale score.
Oh,
he's like 10 out of 10 banger. so yeah, no, it's gonna be awesome, and I'm so excited to be able to see this. It's always great for these shows when the full sort of arc of the season is out, and you can just sort of watch it in order, and without the weak pace, and you get to see just how well they walked you through these 16 episodes.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So whether
it's gonna be good.
So whether it's going to be Ryo Chuchi, whether it's going to be Meeber Gaston, whether it's going to be Jar Jar, whether it's going to be Corky, Lux, and Rush all teamed up together doing backdoor political stuff for Organa, you know, whoever it is.
This is the resurrected. This is the resurrected Rush, I believe.
Yes, zombie Rush.
Yeah, as detailed in the chat. So yeah, chat is doing a great job. I think another one just came in, bringing up Cassian. So
here we go.
Yeah, there we go. Cassian.
And then everyone's hired Cassian.
Bam. You know, again, like we said earlier, this is in conjunction with Andor, production-wise. So that's pretty fun. You never know. You never know. Also, a really fun thing. Anyone who's been keeping up online with the, I guess, like, I don't know who does it. Maybe it's like Keith Kellogg or someone is like releasing the sort of like initial character sheets, like for the renders and stuff. And some of the fun, like the most fun things on those are looking at the date at which they were like submitted or something. And the Fennec Shan model was dated before even Mandalorian season 1 started. So
what?
Yeah, so that's like super fun and just goes to show how, like, for as much as people love the plan, sometimes there is a good plan, and you know they know what they're doing with this with the synergy of these stories. And yeah, it's just cool that they had all that lined up. If you're online, look out for those things because they're a lot of fun to look at and see the dates.
Heck yes. And so I think we're probably going to wrap it up here in a minute. But before we do that, we have to do our overall thoughts and score out of 10 Lulas.
Dang.
Come on. Do you want to go first or would you like me to go first?
You go for it.
Okay. So I loved this episode. Anything that I can nitpick at this edit is so minor that, like, who cares, to be honest. I thought it was great. The score was beautiful. The animation was incredible. I wish we saw different corners of Corellia, but who cares? I wish I had more Martez sister hair shots, but really, who cares? We had them. It was really exciting. And we're starting to see them play a bigger role than what Clone Wars Season 7 had suggested for them. So I'm really, really excited to watch that growth. I'm excited at the little Easter eggy things we've gotten along the way. That's been super fun. The sound design, David W. Collins nailed it again. I heard a Jabba's Palace droid. I heard all sorts of cute little sound nuggets that were delightful. The comedy was perfect. We finally had Wrecker start to malfunction.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited. I'm really excited because, you know, they're really, this episode, I feel like, moved us more forward than the previous ones. Not that that's a fault to the other ones, but it's just, I feel like there's a lot of things that have been put in place because of this episode. And it's really exciting. So for that, I'm going to give this, earlier in the week, I gave it an 8.5, but I'm going to give it a 9. I watched it 2 more times today and I'm just like, I love this. There's my cat feeder. Okay, yep. Well, 9 out of 10 Lulas. I will mute myself. What did you feel about the episode?
Yeah, I mean, everybody, you know, who's been listening along to us talk about it, I think can tell the ultimate enthusiasm for this. And I just see fat dubs across the board. It's gonna be a 10 out of 10 for me. They nailed it. It was just fun. It was funny. It had the fear, like I talked about earlier. Like it had this moment of dread that's been building with Wrecker. It had it all, and I think there were just so many exciting moments. Like you said, it moved the chains forward on like a lot of big things, and it's been a good week for Star Wars for that. Like anyone who was out there reading War of the Bounty Hunters, man, like talk about big swings. You know, there's stuff going on, and you know this did a good one too with that. This really felt like whatever subplot for a rebellion there will be in this show. It looked like it kicked that forward, and I thought it was just an amazing, way to dig into these characters. I loved Hunter, or I love that Tech made the copy of the data, and Hunter gave that to them. I love that. I'm curious what repercussions there will be for them not completing that. I wonder how Sid's got to react to them not doing that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just there's so much to be excited about with this show. Like I'm so glad it's doing what it's doing, because yeah, it's just good. Like what do you say? It's just good.
It's just good, man.
So yeah, I mean, I'm even just thinking about it, I'm about as tired as Wrecker was after he punched out Moochie. This episode is, just wild. It sets up so much. It sets up fun reveals. So yeah, just get a whole bunch of Lulas from me.
So many Lulas, and none of them were half made today, which is very exciting.
Yes.
So with that, I think we're going to wrap things up a little bit. As the banner says below, you can become a patron of the Imperial Senate Podcast on patreon.com/the Imperial Senate Podcast. And all available links to find us are in the description below. You can follow us on Twitter at Imp Senate Pod, and on Instagram at Imperial Senate Pod. And where can they find you?
Yeah, if you want to find me individually on Twitter, let's see, there we go, this side, at Niquicious. That's where you can find just me blabbering about all sorts, blabbering about the upcoming Euro 2020
Woo!
soccer
Vive la
tournament.
France! Vive la France! Come on, let's go France!
Let's talk about this really quick, because it was, of course, a random draw. Claire walked out with France.
I walked out with France, guys.
Unbelievable tournament favorites. Their second team could easily win this tournament. And, me, not so lucky.
Oh, no.
And I've been watching this stuff for a while, and I struggle to think of a team as shafted in a tournament than the team I got, Hungary, who is in a group with France, Germany, and Portugal, powerhouses. So I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully if you're watching this, if you're in the tournament with us, you can have a better time than me. But I hope that mighty Magyar energy is going to come fighting through. We're going to bring out the goulash, bring out the paprika, fight like a Hungarian horntail. We're gonna go full tilt on 3 teams that will beat us so badly. But anyway, you can keep up with that, and you can also keep up on the other show I do, One and Done Film Club, which is a franchise film commentary show. We do all sorts of fun stuff coming up on our season finale, which, you know what, all the fine folks watching, I'll give you a hint. You'll probably enjoy it. It's a Star Wars prequel trilogy, baby. We're gonna be watching one of those. Woo, woo. So that's going to be a blast. You can follow the show at One and Done Show and on Twitter, and it is available on all the good podcast places, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, other ones. If you use other ones and I can't remember them, let me know and I'll make sure it's on there. But yeah, that's where you can find my stuff.
And you can find Charlie on Twitter at CMWASHBY and on Instagram at CharlieMWAshby. Go join his Patreon because he does some really cool stuff up there. His Batman Returns show with Alden is rad, and he has an interview show. So go do that. It's a good time. He's not here. He's had some technical issues, but he will be back with us next week to discuss the next episode of The Bad Betch. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at cstribs. And you can follow me as well on Kessel Run Transmissions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that is at KR Transmissions on Twitter. And I think that's probably about it. Oh, and join our Discord. Join our Discord. Oh, yeah. We can tweet out a link today of where you can join if you're not already, especially if you want to keep up with the world stuff. The world stuff.
Doing
the
talking,
Euro
baby.
stuff. doing talking. Can you tell that Charlie hosts this every week? This is not going well. But yeah, if you want to keep track of our Euros competition, if you want to talk about the Moisture Farm, if you want to join, which is always a great place, if you want to hang out in the cantina, there's all sorts of stuff going on. There's voice channels where you can all hang out together, and it's fun. So go join our Discord. We'll tweet out a link today at Imp Senate Pod. It'll be up there. And other than that, I think that's all we've got for you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for joining in.
Thanks for joining in.
Back for episode 7.
Woo!
Undoubtedly another banger coming from Lucasfilm Animation.
Oh, no freaking doubt.
Yep.
All right. So with that, we will say peace out, guys, and we'll catch you next week.
See ya.